Welcome to Tailgate Talk Season 1, Episode 10. Stanford completes the largest comeback in school history. Gate City survives a fumble frenzy. Ridgeview holds off John Battle. Twin Springs survives the Eastside rally. And much, much more. Let's get into it. All right. What a weekend in football. What we got with us today is me and Kermit. Sean is having to work late, and we're really late getting this thing out this week and everything. And we miss Sean and wish that he was with us, but we're going to get you something out. And we're going to start off this week with college football, week number 7. We're going to recap this week. And Indiana 7, Michigan 52. It probably wasn't no big mystery there. You know, Michigan's quietly a really good football team right now.
Yeah, I think we all picked Michigan to win that pretty handily there. So I don't think that went down just about the way everybody's seen it going down. But
yeah, Michigan, they're a real good football team. They really haven't played anybody, so I mean, they're fixing to start getting into some pretty tough matches and everything. So we'll really see what kind of football team they are here in the next few weeks, and make sure that they are legit or not.
yeah, it seems like they always save the best for last. So we're getting closer to finding out.
Yep. Texas A&M 13, Tennessee 20.
Woo!
Man, this one right here was a barn burner. Tennessee's really, really lucky to survive this one and get Auer to win. They rushed the ball for 239 yards, and that was the difference in the game. Their passing was non-existent, really. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I think a lot of their fans is starting to lose confidence in the quarterback and everything, and I don't know.
It's a hard call. Is it too early to pull the trigger? I believe they're going to stick with him.
Hey, some think that they're going to write him out, but if you remember back at the first of college football, I made a thing that said, "Hey, he will not be the starter."
Yeah,
the whole year, and I don't know. I still don't see him being the starter all year. They may ride with him. I don't know.
I think as long as they, they're doing like you was talking about Miami, as long as they're winning ugly right now, I believe he may stay in there for a little while longer. But when they start losing, I believe he'll be pulled.
Well, they're still only a one-loss team, and they're still in contention for the East. They still got Georgia to go. They're not even. You can't even count them out of the playoffs right yet.
Yeah,
there's plenty of.
And Texas A&M, just to speak on Texas A&M's part, man, this second week in a row, 2 big teams, 2 close games, and they just remind you of somebody in the Cumberland district that just can't finish them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oklahoma State 36, UCLA 24. I want to tell you something. Oklahoma State is a daggone good football team.
Yeah.
And they're going to be making some noise here. I mean, definitely don't count them out as well. But this one kind of went the way I expected it. I know somebody that got on the California train last week.
Absolutely. I tell you what, California teams, y'all freaking suck. I picked every California team and every one of them lost. I believe I picked so bad this week, I believe I'll just flip a coin when we go to pick the next ones.
Well, I did bring you a special sauce here, and it's called, if you can read this, it says crow sauce. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's I mean, I'll be first to admit, I had a terrible week at picking college football. I'd about just soon flip a coin this week and be done with it.
All right, man. California 14, Utah 34. Utah's continuing their winning ways, man. They're pretty dang good. They're going to be in the mix at it. Maybe getting into this playoff thing. I mean, as of right now, we got 5 teams left undefeated in college football.
Yeah.
And there's a possibility that if they all win out, that there's going to be one team undefeated left out of this thing.
We're getting closer and closer, ain't we?
We'll be finding out soon. Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of regretted picking this, and after I got thinking about it afterwards and thinking about what Utah done to Florida and stuff, and I was like, maybe I went the wrong way there.
Yeah, I mean, I was really impressed in that game how Utah's defense really played some good football, and I mean they got some playmakers, man.
Absolutely,
they got some playmakers. They really do. Mizzou 38, Big Kentucky Wildcats 21. You and Sean was on the Wildcat train here.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man, Mizzou is a really good football team. They got a lot of speed, and they got some guys that can make some plays. And they're not done. They're not done yet. They're going to surprise some more teams, I believe, here in the SEC before this thing's over with.
Absolutely.
You got anything else on that one?
Man, it's just so tough because it seems like these teams are different from week to week. Like you've seen a whole different ball club from week to week, and you just don't know how they're going to show up, you know.
Yeah, there's definitely some that's giving you that. That's for sure.
Kentucky, you know, they go and put the hammer down on Florida and not just beat them. I mean, they
embarrassed them.
They lay the hammer on them and then, you know, turn around and play like that against Georgia the next week. But I thought they'd be right back on track this game. But, man, got to give Mizzou credit putting them down.
Yep. NC State 3, Duke 24. Duke's continuing to roll, too.
Go Dookie.
I mean, man, they got a shot at this thing, too, man.
Yep.
See, Duke's still left. They're undefeated, aren't they? Yeah, they're undefeated, too.
No, they got beat by Notre Dame because I predicted them to beat Notre Dame, and that was going to be my upset, and they ended up getting beat there. But that's the only thing they've lost to is Notre Dame.
Well, they're definitely in this thing. I mean, the ACC championship, they get there. I mean, I think, you know, there's a possibility the ACC champion gets into the playoffs.
I think Duke and North Carolina, I think that's going to be a real interesting ball game.
Oh, yeah. LSU 48, Auburn 18. This is the only one I missed this week. And, you know, Auburn, I really felt like they probably would play better. But, I mean, this is another team right here, LSU, that their offense is consistent, and they're very dang good, man. Their offense can play with anybody in this country. And Daniels is flipping. Golly, he's a stud, man. He's hard to stop.
Absolutely.
Auburn, though, I mean, they had a good matchup one week, and then the next week, you know, their offense don't show up. I mean, I don't know. I cook them. I really felt like LSU's defense hadn't been playing good, and I felt like that would be in them not being playing good, that they would at least be in it to win it. But, you know, LSU pulled it out there, 30-point win, you know, and they flexed their muscles on this one.
Yeah, I predicted Auburn to win this one too, but I thought LSU's defenses looked so terrible that Auburn would easily put up about as many points as they could, and I thought Auburn's defense would come through and get a couple key stops in this game and end up pulling it off with a little bit of defense.
Yeah. Well, Sean is our resident LSU fan, and he went LSU, and he got us on that one right there, buddy.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad they won for his sake. FSU 41, Syracuse 3. I really felt like Syracuse would probably have a little bit more in them than this, but I'm here to tell you, Florida State is getting better and better every week. I mean, they're a team that's improving week in, week out, and man,
that's definitely a good thing to see. You know, as we're getting later into the year, there that they just keep on improving, and man, they may be competing for that ACC championship, and they may be in that final championship there.
I'm not going to say maybe. I think they're going to be there, and I think they're going to be who represents the ACC in the playoffs. I really do. Right now, the way I feel. I mean, you still got North Carolina that's going to have something to say about that. But
absolutely,
as of right now, I think out of all these teams in the ACC, that's front runners to be in the ACC championship or get into the playoffs, possibly Florida State and North Carolina, Duke. I mean, I just feel like Florida State's the one that is improving each week, that you can see the improvement each week and everything. But now UNC, man, May there, he's a great quarterback.
Yeah, they really surprised me the way they end up putting it on Syracuse there. I thought Syracuse would give them much more of a match than that, but man, that'd be a ball game watching Florida State and North Carolina go at it.
Yep. And up next, we have Washington 36, Oregon 33. And this is one I've been waiting to talk to you about. And Sean, but Sean ain't here, so I don't get to rub it in on Sean. But I can rub it in on you, mister, and I believe I have for the past few days.
Yeah. I tell you, I really thought Oregon could pull this out. I thought they looked pretty good, man. And these is just two heck of a ball clubs right here.
Man, they are.
Man, I'd love to see that game again. I mean,
there's a good possibility that it will happen again.
I hope so, because man, these cats got out there and played some ball.
I mean, you had two of the top quarterbacks in the league in college football right now playing in this game. And I'll be honest with you, Oregon had more passing yards. Nick's even had a better pass completion ratio percentage than Penix did. Penix got it done when he needed to. I mean, honestly, Oregon won this game just about everywhere but except the scoreboard. And I mean, I think you go back into the first half, and I really felt like then when they went for it on fourth down there on the goal line right before halftime, last play of this, and Washington held them out, I was like, that's the ball game right there. That right there is this right here is what's going to cause Oregon to lose. But now, granted, Oregon fought back into it and had their opportunities to win this game. They actually had the lead with a minute something to go. I just felt like, take the points here, man. Even if it is 3, take them 3 points. And if once they did get the ball back at the end of this game, and they kicked the field goal to tie it, I mean, hey, they would have been kicking it for the win at that point, So I mean, dang if you do, dang if you don't.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to go back on it. I know they like putting in these numbers and stuff and everything, but sometimes I feel like you need to go with your football heart and do what you really feel instead of putting the numbers in some guy with a calculator's hand, saying this is what we need to do here. 7's going to be more pivotal to us because they got the ball right back, and it ended up being like the way it happened. They went 3 and out, start the third quarter, and Washington went down and scored, and then it goes from like close game there to like a 10-point game, which they fought back, got the lead, but like I said. I mean, Oregon really did dominate the game. Well, I wouldn't say necessarily dominate it, but they did have better numbers.
Yeah, better pass ratio, better yards and stuff.
But Nix and Penix both, man, showed what they are. It was real fun to watch them. I mean, you couldn't wait for the next one to come out to see what they were going to do. I mean, Penix got cold in the third quarter and most of the fourth quarter, but he got back on it where he needed to. I really felt like Oregon should have, instead of going for it on that fourth down too in the at the end to try. I mean, you know, I get it. You got the lead here. If you pick up the first down, you know, you're probably going to be able to run the clock out at this point. But I really felt like you probably should have played field position here and punted that ball because they didn't make it, and Washington takes over. And although Penix had been cold, he was hot on that drive, and he was like 2 or 3 plays, and he was in the end zone with them, and they had the lead at that point.
Yeah, this one in ball games, I figured whoever's got the ball last, you know, that's who's probably going to end up winning it.
And that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah.
USC 20, Notre Dame 48. I got one thing to say right here. Da na 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 na. The only one to pick Notre Dame in this was, and I mean, I tried to tell you, USC is not the team that everybody thinks they are. Caleb Williams, he is a good quarterback. I give him that, but they don't. Anytime I've noticed these teams play anybody outside their conference that has any type of defensive ball, they do not play well. So, I mean, I got a few things. The reason why I did pick Notre Dame, USC about got beat by Arizona.
Close.
Yeah. The last 3 of their games, they absolutely just got out of there by the skin of their teeth.
Oh, yeah.
And then last year, USC laid it on Notre Dame, and Caleb Williams had the game of his life. It's actually what probably won him, that game alone probably won him the Heisman Trophy. So Notre Dame had a big circle around USC on their calendar all year long. And, they absolutely dominated them. Which I think, my question is, without Caleb Williams, do you feel like USC's probably a 7-5 team? Possibly.
Yeah, I'd say that.
What if they end up? I mean, there's a chance that they're that this year with him, because you look at their schedule. The only shoe in they have for a win that I feel like is California. Any of these others can upset them at any time.
Oh yeah,
especially the way they've been playing.
Yeah, and you know I picked USC just because I know you was going Notre Dame, but I think Notre Dame a lot of times is overranked, but they may be legit this year, but we still yet to find out.
They blew 2 games, and I think they wish they had them back at this point, especially after pulling this one. Then you wish you had them other 2 back.
Yeah,
because then they're in there, man. They're flexing. They would be flexing right now, saying, "Hey, here we are. Here we are."
Just for y'all listening, I was at the Virginia Tech game, and after the game was over, I called my local Notre Dame podcaster, and that's all I heard on the way back was na 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 na.
That's right.
Aaron, he kept me awake all the way back, and
hey, I was just wanting you to know while this game was going on that your pick was going down and they was going down by accident. I wanted to really emphasize this.
And I didn't even have to watch the game because Aaron filled me in on every little detail, and it wasn't sounding good. About every 5 minutes, he sacked them again.
Yeah. I was letting you know, mister.
They was coming after him.
They was, man. Notre Dame played a heck of a ball game in this one. I mean, you'd like to see that out of them consistently. If you're a Notre Dame fan, I know that you would like to see them be this consistent the way they played in this game. I mean, if they could be that consistent as good as they was in this game, man, they'd be undefeated right now and probably got a good chance at even winning the title.
Their defense has looked good all year, though.
Oh, yeah.
In every game they've played, it seems like they've played pretty decent defense.
Absolutely. Miami 31, UNC 41. I mean, I felt like this game could go anyway. It was a 10-point game. Miami really needed to win this game.
Miami's not a bad ball club, and that's a big win for UNC right there.
Oh, it was.
But yeah, I've been impressed with what Miami's done this year. I think they're one of the top teams in the ACC. But it's gonna get tough.
Colorado 43, Stanford 46. Like I said in the intro, this Stanford made the biggest comeback in the school history. They were down 29 points at halftime. Shador Sanders in the locker room sending out Instagrams and stuff about selling his watches, dancing around thinking he had this, and Stanford come out and said, "Not today, boys."
Yeah, it's 4 quarters. That's why they hold up the 4 fingers there in the fourth quarter, because you got to play 4 quarters of ball, and Colorado's played a heck of a first half, but don't know where they was at the second half in this game.
They thought they had it. I mean, don't be in there in the locker room sending out watch ads and stuff. You should be making some adjustments and knowing what's going to happen in this second half. That there's still some football to play.
Absolutely.
And it hats off to Stanford, man. What a comeback, and that was a big win for them. Well, that's all we got in the week 7 college football. We'll roll over here into the week 8 college picks. And we got some big games this week, man. There's some interesting games. But up first, we have Clemson and Miami.
Well, I'm going to start off on this one. I've not been too impressed by what Clemson's done this year. I think Clemson ain't the Clemson of old, and I'm going to take Miami in this one.
Yeah, I've got Miami too. I know Clemson's probably a better football team than their record's showing and the way they've showed. But there's just I just feel like there's something going on in the program that's holding them back somewhere or something.
Yeah.
And Miami coming off that big loss last week, they're going to want to turn it around. It's 2 in a row now. I just don't see them losing 3 in a row, and I'm taking the Hurricanes in that one as well. Oh, this one right here is a good one. Duke, Florida State.
We're getting ready to find out if one's for real and if one's fake right here in this game, I believe. I talked about how good Florida State was doing, and Duke's played pretty good all year too. They had that one game against Notre Dame, which they about come back in and won it. It's going to be a good matchup right here, and I think you're really going to see what Florida State's really got in this matchup right here. But I'm going to have to go Florida State in this one.
Yep. I'm with you on that. I really would like to see Duke pull this one off, to be honest with you. But I just feel like I said, Florida State is getting better and better and better.
They're so explosive. They're one of them teams that all it takes is one play to turn a game around.
Oh, yeah. So I like Florida State in this one as well. Penn State, Ohio State.
Oh, man.
Penn State's quietly good. And it's in the shoe, so.
Yeah. Could be another shocker right here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe with it being in the shoe, though, I believe I'll go Ohio State in this game.
I'm with you on that. I think the Buckeyes gets this one, but I mean I wouldn't be surprised if Penn State don't pull this upset.
Yeah.
Definitely wouldn't. Central Florida at Oklahoma, you know, Sooners. I mean Oklahoma's been playing some good football, man.
Yeah, man,
And they're gonna get a bit. They're gonna win this one big.
They played a big game in that Red River rivalry, and I believe Oklahoma have this one easy.
Yeah. Tennessee, Alabama, Kermit.
Dang,
I have tossed and turned with this one in my. I've thought, which way do I go? You know, I mean, what? How do you pick this game? You got both teams that the quarterback plays struggled. Both of them's winning, but they've been winning ugly. I mean, this I think it's going to be a low scoring game. But I'm going to go Alabama in it myself for two reasons. I just feel like, although both the teams have struggled a bit with quarterback play, I just feel like that Alabama's actually had the more consistent quarterback play, and it is at Alabama. Tennessee struggles a lot on the road, and I'm gonna go Alabama. I think it's gonna be a field goal type of game for Tennessee. They may get 7 and then about 3 field goals, and if Alabama can get over 21 points, I think they definitely win this game. So if I was to pick a score, I'd probably have it at like 27-17, Alabama.
Yeah, man, that's top ball game there. I'm like you. It's man. I thought about it. It's but you know when I think about this, I think about old school rivalry. I believe Alabama, if they're ever going to get up for a game, they're going to be up for this game. And, you know, Tennessee's going to be up for it. And the deciding factor for me is just that they're playing at Alabama. And I believe that's why I'm going to go Alabama.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think if you look at it and you want to go Tennessee, I mean, you can look at it like, you know, Tennessee's front four's tough, man. They're probably got one of the toughest front four in college football right now. And their special teams is awesome, dude.
And I definitely wouldn't be shocked if they beat Alabama.
I feel like there's going to be some defensive points scored in this game. I think Alabama, and that's another reason why I went with them. I think they're the ones that gets the pick six in this game, and that that really puts it out. But I mean, Tennessee's capable of pulling that. You know, getting 6 points off the defense, or they're even able of getting points off with their special teams. Because I mean, like I said, their special teams is pretty good too. And if they get some good play out of both of them, and Milton can come out and hit a couple of deep balls, you know, I really feel like Tennessee could pull this one off, but.
Yeah, and the way Alabama's been playing, I mean, you play that ugly, it's going to bite you sooner or later.
Well, both of them's been playing that ugly. So,
yeah.
I mean, one of them's going to get bit this week.
Yep.
And but I think I'm just going to go with the home team here. I think that's just the right thing to do here. So I got Alabama there as well. Washington State, Oregon. I got Oregon in this one. And I mean, it's possibly going to be big, but Washington State sometimes will just absolutely surprise you. But I got Oregon and I got them big. Nix is playing some unbelievable football right now.
Yeah, I think Oregon's took their one loss for the year and got it over with. I think they come back out with more fire and desire, and I wouldn't want to face Oregon after that game right there.
Nope. Like I said, I really think we're going to end up having a Washington and an Oregon rematch in this Pac-12 championship game, and Oregon can't lose another game if they're going to be there, and if they have any hopes of getting into the playoffs, they definitely can't lose another one. Texas, Houston, Texas big.
Yeah, that's who I take, Texas. I hope if I'm wrong this week, at least you're gonna be wrong on most of them with me.
So you're following me this time, correct?
No, I've picked some of them before you.
You're cracking me. All right, Michigan State.
Man, it's a ball game I love to watch, and it's like I said before, these two teams, it just seems like it don't matter if one of them's number 2 and the other one ain't even in the top 25. Something spectacular happens in these ball games, something unexpected. Michigan shows up with a defense and holds Michigan State usually shows up with a defense, holds Michigan to, the low scoring game of the year, and it comes down to a field goal or a blocked field goal return for a touchdown. Anything can happen in this game right here. But just the way Michigan's being quiet and just flying under the radar, I believe Michigan will pull this one out.
Are you trying to force me into a Michigan State pick?
No.
You're right. This is normally a game that you toss records out the window on. You know what I'm saying? But not this year. Michigan wins and they win big.
Yeah, man.
Utah, USC.
Well, this one right here will be an easy pick for me because USC let me down and I should have went Utah. So I'm going Utah this week over USC.
Utah is pretty darn good, mister.
Absolutely.
And I think this is loss number 2 on the way to that 7-5 record that I feel like USC could end up being at. And like I said, the only shoe-in I see on the rest of their schedule that they can win is California. And so they're not going to get it done against Utah. Utah wins. I think it'd be probably closer than people think, but I think Utah gets it done.
Yeah, USC ain't gonna lay down on them. I do like that quarterback they have, and they're still going to go out and score a few points. But yeah, they're gonna get beat.
Yeah, man. Week 8 high school football rundown for the Mountain 7 and the Cumberland District. We have starting to get a lot of teams, Kermit, that's taking bye weeks, and then you got a lot of the teams in each district playing each other, and that kind of shortens the list up a bit, buddy. But we had on the docket first this week was WCYB game of the week, which was Union and Wise, and score ended up being 48-0. It looked like Union was going to have that Wise Central letdown again, but they ended up pulling it out.
Yeah, I always said that, Union they don't play good up there at Wise. I know on turf field it's supposed to speed you up, but it seems like it slows them down. They had the worst time up there, but not take nothing from Wise. Wise, I know they get up and they really want to beat Union bad, and I'd say worse than any team in the district. They want to beat Union, and I believe that's why Wise always gets up for Union pretty good, and I ain't just saying it. Just Union just had a bad first quarter. Wise played a pretty smart game in that first quarter. They done a lot of things good in that game, and their return game. I mean, they was returning kicks at 40 yards and stuff in that game, and they really surprised me how they returned the ball, and probably their best returning game all year. But then on their kicking game side, they kind of struggled a little bit, and if it wasn't for the punter dropping a snap there late in the second quarter, they would have went in at halftime at 14-0, and that's how bad Union was struggling in that first half, and they always do. It seems like
yeah. And I mean, do you feel like if Union goes into this half only up 14-0, Wise has a little more up when they come out of halftime because we're more in this game. I mean, that other 7 points to make it 21 was probably pretty big to kind of take a little bit of the wind out of them.
Yeah, because Wise actually moved the ball and took some of the time off the clock. And like I said, if you're Wise, that's the game you wanted to play right there. And, yeah, I believe it'd been different if Union would have went in at 14-0. I think if I'm a Wise kid, I'm excited. I'm motivated because these cats have just scored 14 points on us, and we've kind of held our own a little bit in this game, and I think it would have been big, but I believe that was a big difference, going in at halftime 21 when I can't remember how much time was left on the clock. There wasn't a whole lot of time left on the clock when Wise was going to punt it there.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I just feel like that probably took a little more of the wind out. I mean, they probably come out a little more fired up just down 14 versus 21.
Yeah. And they're a young ball club, that Wise team up there is.
Gate City 26, Lehigh 19. To be honest with you, this game right here is way close score-wise for it to be dominated the way it was by Gate City. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, they dominated everywhere except for in the turnovers.
And I know we was talking, about we've been talking about doing a good, bad, and the ugly section, and Aaron called me and said, "You got to watch that game." He said I could have done the whole segment on that game right there, the good, bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
and I went back and watched the game, and man, Gate City come out fired up, pumped up. Yeah, you've got that bye week off. They start driving the ball all the way down the field on Lee, and Fumble Rooski.
yep.
And it even got even worse because Lee was in, I can't remember, 3rd and long or 4th and long, and Lee slings the ball down the field trying to get a first down, and they need it bad. Gate City intercepts it, ends up fumbling the ball, and gives Lee a 15-yard first down.
Yeah, but before that, Gate City's up 2 scores, and they come out and they start that throwing, and I don't know why they're not just continuing running the ball here. I mean, you got something working good for you. I mean, until they start stacking it in and stopping it, continue to do it. And I think it kind of throws their offense a little bit out of sync.
Yeah.
So then, they get back into rhythm, and they're fixing to, they start driving the ball. The next drive, they take off, and the guy gets like a 40-yard run, and then one of Lee's players takes it right out of his hands and returns it, almost for a touchdown. I mean, it goes inside the 10-yard line, I guess, or somewhere around there.
Looked like he's down around the 5, inside the 5.
Yeah, and they end up scoring there. So then it becomes 12-6, and then you're thinking, man, you can't let them hang around right here. You cannot. Then the next thing you know, Gate City finally gets that other score, and now we're back up 2 scores. Then they fumble the ball again, and that one's scooped up and returned all the way for a touchdown. And then you're like, oh my goodness. You know, I mean, here's the yardage. Rushing, Gate City had 294 yards rushing. Lehigh had 80 yards rushing. Passing, Gate City 62, Lehigh 33. I mean, Gate City outrushed Lee's total offense.
Yeah, they tripled the rushing yards and doubled the passing yards, and it was still a close ball game like that.
12 first downs to 7.
Yeah, that's but now Aaron will tell you one good thing about it, and I'll let Aaron tell you about it because he called me. He's like, "You got to see this, man. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen."
Man, I've been to pro football games. I've been to college football games. High school football games all over the Virginia and Tennessee, and that is the most beautiful punt that I've ever seen in my life. And that thing, I mean, 80-yard punt, dude, and I mean it had like a 4-point something hang time, and I mean that was probably one of the most beautiful punts I've ever seen in my life. The league guy, he's like back, he just lost it. Then he was wild about it, really.
He's like, what was that? He got shot out of a cannon, coach.
You talking about, and I mean, Gates, he was backed up.
Yeah.
They punted it from their 15. And you talking about flipping field position.
Yeah. And it looked like it landed down there around the 10. I mean, most of it was through the air.
It was.
And he,
I think it landed around the 15-yard line or something like that.
But now, if he was further back kicking it out of the end zone, it probably turned into a 90-yard the way it was going to roll. You know, It rolled plumb through the back of the end zone, and it would kept on going if them boys hadn't jumped on it.
Our guy stopped it tried to get it there to 1 and ended up getting in. But man, that was a daggone gorgeous punt, man. And it's the prettiest thing I've seen best punt I've seen in my life, to be honest with you.
Which Lehigh had kicked a pretty good one right before that, about a 50-something yarder, but Gate City made a good return on it. And we know the kicking game was working.
Yeah, it absolutely was.
But yeah, that's a lot closer than it should have been. And I mean, you give a team life like that, and it can mean disaster. And an incident that happened to us is we went up Coburn and we was playing Coburn. And we got up on them big time in the first half, and Tom Turner had put the B teamers in, and Coburn had finally started making their way back. And I think it was all the way to the last drive. Tom had put all the starters back in, and we couldn't stop them. Even with all the starters in, they was still making ways to get first downs, and they ended up driving all the way down on the starters, after we just dominated them the first half and drove all the way down the field at the end of the game and tied it up. And we went into freaking double overtime and barely pulled that win off in double overtime. And
it's amazing what the Big Mo can do for you.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is, man, when you give kids, to believe that they can win, that's the difference maker. When you
a lot of times, yes.
When you give kids life like that and leave them hanging around, and they eventually start believing that they can win, just like as you said, if Central had went in at halftime, 14-0, they're going to be thinking, hey, we can play with these guys.
Yep.
So that's the worst thing I think you can do is just leave a team sticking around, giving them belief that they can actually play with you, because once they start believing, they can play with you.
Yeah, man. All right, Ridgeview 28, John Battle 12. This is the one I got called crazy on, and I'm just going to be honest with you.
I didn't call you crazy now.
Well, it was crazy for me to pick it, knowing you know what we know. But, I mean, I really feel like John Battle played a pretty good game in this game, too. You know, I mean, Ridgeview got it done, and that's what good teams do. They fight through the adversity, and I think Battle, to me, kind of schemed herself out of this one. I mean, I guess they was thinking, let's just pound the ball, play clock control, and, keep the ball out of O'Quinn's hands. And they done a fairly good job at doing that for that first half. It was a lot closer then. But once they got out of that double wing and started slinging the ball, they started moving the ball pretty good on Ridgeview, and it's just I was just a little bit too late for it.
Yeah, and that fourth quarter, it was a much different ball game. John Battle was going with a different strategy. You could tell they changed up their strategy in that fourth quarter, trying to make a comeback, and was actually moving the ball pretty good. And but now I don't mean to try to degrade nobody or anything like that, or act like I know more than any of them coaches out there. But to me, I know Sean ain't here to defend them, but I think, in my opinion, in this Ridgeview John Battle game, that was the most stupid coaching decision I've ever seen in my life, to put that Honaker kid out there on defense. And, I mean, I was just watching him play, and it hurt me to watch him play the way he looked like he was hurting out there. And he wasn't hurting like halfway through the game. From the first play of the game, when he was out there on defense, man, the kid was hobbling around, couldn't come up to the line of scrimmage and tackle nobody. He was letting guys come to him and just wrapped up and held on to them for life.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's really hard for a kid to heal up if they're not taking the time to heal. And,
either that kid's an awful good actor, or because I mean, I was in pain just watching them play.
Yeah.
And that's from the get-go. And I understand if you're in a big-time game and it's a championship game and it's the last quarter and the kid gets hurt and he tells you, I can go, coach, I can go. But you don't start out a game with a kid that you know. I mean, he just, a lot of times he hobbled off by himself while the team huddled up together.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure he was telling them he was ready. But, I mean, obviously you could look at him and tell him that he ain't. And, I mean, they got some big games coming up, and they're going to need him to be 100%.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them's this week. And without him, it puts a whole lot more weight on O'Quinn's shoulders. And I would have liked to seen them leave him out, too, in this game. And, let him get the proper healing that he needs. And I'm sure that Sean would be right on board with that as well.
I would got what he thought of it, but I'm just telling you, if I'm Abbott and he's out there and he's limping like that first play of the game, I'm running at him all game long.
Well, I'm pretty sure with the position he plays and the way that Abbott has changed up, the way they've been doing on offense, they're coming right at him.
Oh, yeah.
And whether he's 100% or not, they're going to be coming right at him. I'm pretty sure of that. George with 58, John Iberton 0. This one was over at halftime. It was 58-0 at halftime. And I'm pretty sure George with brought in the cheerleaders in the second half and said, let's play ball.
I know it is. When after the ball game, we walked out to the truck and somebody put on some message board or something there that George Wythe had beat Norton 108-0.
They were probably looking at the VHSL thing that's giving the scores, because I was looking at trying to get our scores up to get them up on our page and stuff, and I swear to God, they were like way off on a lot of them.
Well, whatever she was looking at, it was legit, the scoreboard thing that somebody actually put that up or 100. But it wouldn't have shocked me, but I'm like, surely George Witt wouldn't have went in there and scored 108. Surely they've been playing their third or fourth string by now. That's a lot of points in a ball game.
That is a lot of points in the ball game.
But I tell you, I can't wait for this single A Division I playoffs, man. I think there's a lot of teams in there people better not be overlooking, and I believe it's George Witt's one of them because, I mean, they're a 3-loss team, but man, the 3 teams they've lost to is not just double-A schools, they're the big double-A schools. You know, you got Graham and Rafford and Galax, and them all 3's going to be in the playoffs in the double-A division. So, I mean, they ain't got, you know, three bad losses on their schedule. Them's 3 really good losses that they've got there.
Yeah, man. Twin Springs 28, Eastside 20.
Boy, did Twin Springs start out, you know, lightning in the bottle.
They sure did.
That's about the fastest too. I've seen Union do it a time or two when lightning strikes right, but man, that was 2 of the fastest touchdowns that you could get in a game right there. You know, 2 plays.
I don't know. I seen 21 points happen pretty fast a few weeks ago, buddy.
But it has happened a time or two with Union. They, you know, that. But I mean, 2 plays. Kid busts it right up the middle. Nobody even close to getting them. And then, you know, next thing you know, get a turnover from Eastside. And right there, they're up 14-0.
On the ensuing kickoff.
Yeah, that's a pretty hard lick for Eastside to take right there. But I tell you, it was a good game, what I seen of it. It seemed like both teams offensively seemed like they blocked good. They run the ball good. I know that number 12 from Coburn, I think he's a Hamilton. Man, I think that kid should have got a lot more touches on the ball. He was running 10 yards a carry, it seemed like, most of the time when he touched the ball. I believe that 12, he's going to be good.
Yeah, man. I think Eastside, I really like their fight, man, and they're just resilient.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, times when you count them out, they prove you wrong, and they say, hey, we deserve to be here. And I mean, honestly, this game could have very well went their way. I mean, it was a close game, and they fought to the end, and they have all year on all these big games. They've done the same thing with Rocco. They've done the same thing with Chilhowie. But they really needed this one because they're at number 10, I believe, in the playoffs right now. You really don't want to see them there because at this point, mathematically, they can still get back to that 8th spot, but I mean, you would feel more at ease if you controlled your own destination, and they're going to have to win, and then I think they're going to have to get some help from some other teams, and you know, this might have just knocked them out of making the playoffs. Like I said, it's not 100% that they're not going to be in yet, but it's not looking good right now without they get help from some other teams. And honestly, I think if they do end up, things works out and they do end up making that top 8 and get in, I'm not so sure that some of these teams really want to play them again.
That's what I was getting ready to say. It's a shame, and that's why I say it's Division I championships and playoffs. Man, I believe it's going to be awesome because we're talking about a team that's not even in the playoffs, that's fighting for a chance to even get in the playoffs, And then I'm going to sit here and say, I don't think I want to see that team if I am a 1 or a 2.
Well, I mean, you look at the top 5 teams, 4 of those top teams in that top 5 they've played, and they have. I mean, you're talking 28 points. It's like 7 points in each game that they could have very well been the winner. They was within 7 points of winning each one of them games, and they win them. Then guess who's at number 2? They would be sitting at number 2 or whatever. So I mean, honestly, if the Magic falls to where they end up getting back, I think Eastside's the team you don't want to see there.
Yeah, and I mean, you take them 2 quick scores away from Twin Springs, man, you got a ball game right there.
Yep.
And I think that's once Twin Springs got them 2 quick scores, and that kind of helped them just hold on and hold steady through the game, and keep Eastside from getting closer to get it from them.
Yep. Thomas Walker, 43, Twin Valley, 8. Thomas Walker bounces back after that big loss to Hurley the week before, and they get one. I mean, Thomas Walker's playing some fate into this Eastside getting in, so.
Yeah, Thomas Walker, I said that they was 50-50. They win one this week, lose one next, win one, lose one. And that's about the way their season's played out.
Well, if you're Eastside, you kind of hope that's the way it goes. So they're up next.
Yeah. Well, one thing about it, they're both fighting for the 3rd spot and 3rd and 4th right there, I believe. And, we're going to see who gets it.
Yeah, man. Well, that's all we got for the score rundown. We're going to get into these week number 9 picks. And up first, we got Gate City, John Battle. Carmen, I'll let you go first on this one. Who you got, buddy?
Man, oh man, what a ball game. Where's this going to be played at?
It's at John Battle.
Oh, man. Home field advantage. John Battle started out the season great, and then it's like we don't know who they are. They when they've been down, they've really played down. When they've been up, they've played up. I think Gate City definitely don't want to go into John Battle, and John Battle probably be tough enough that you definitely don't want to go into John Battle and turn the ball over 4 or 5 times against them. Because I believe it's going to end up a bad night for Gate City if that does happen. But, man, I liked how Gate City come out against Lee, having that, bye week and getting resetted. And, man, they come out and done everything else great. They come out and hit hard. They come out and tackled as a team. They come out and played some pretty good ball. And, you just take all the turnovers away. And, Gate City would have won that game big, I think, but I believe they'll straighten it up this week. Hopefully they've straightened it up this week, and there'll be a lot of, concern on keeping the ball and protecting the ball, and I believe they come out and I believe they put it on John Battle at John Battle.
Well, I don't see them turning the ball over the way they did. I do like how John Battle played tight with Ridgeview, and that lets you know, hey, they're definitely not a team you're going to look over and everything. Gate City right now is in the playoffs as it stands, and they're fighting for at least a chance to host one game. I mean, they're right there on the brink of being in the top 4 of this thing, and so they really need this win, and I think they get it done. I take Gate City in this one as well, because I'm not going to go against my Blue Devils in this. I have went against them. I'm not one to, if I think that there's no chance, there's no chance. But I really feel like Gate City's going to win this game right here. Lehigh Central.
Daggone. We've got the two bottom teams in the Mount 7 going at it this week. Man, we're going to have a lot of good ball games this week.
Yes,
as far as picking them and stuff. Man, I hadn't even thought about this a whole lot, really, but daggone.
I have.
Wise seems like they're improving a little bit. It looked like they was doing a little bit of something against Union there in the first half, but which, at times in the second half, Lee didn't look too bad against Gate City, as far as trying to drive the ball and stuff. And this is a hard pick.
I'll tell you right now, Lehigh's running back runs the ball pretty tough.
Yeah.
He runs the ball hard.
And Lee's probably got size on Wise and a little bit older team, and I'm gonna pick a close one, but I'm gonna pick Lee in this one.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna go with the Generals in this one as well. John I. Burton Castlewood. Do you have a quarter current?
I've got a heads and tails.
All right, it's gonna be tails Burton, heads Castlewood for me.
Heads.
I got Castlewood down. All right, I'll take that because I really feel like Castlewood probably win that one. I'll take the Blue Devils in this one because there was a game a while back that we really felt like that Castlewood may not win in this one. Northwood, but they ended up
pulling
that one off.
Yeah.
This might be the first win Burton gets, but the coin tells me to go with Castlewood. That's who I'm going with.
Man, the battle for 5 and 6 here. It's like I said, it's going to be a lot of good ball games this week. But I think I'm gonna go with Castlewood. Just they've got a taste to winning, and I believe they'll pull this one off too and get their second win of the year.
Absolutely, Eastside Thomas Walker. I have Eastside in this one. I know they got to win here. They cannot drop another game, period, or they're definitely not going to get back up there. And this right here beating Thomas Walker. I think Thomas Walker's ahead of them actually in points. So this can possibly move them up to one spot ahead, depending on what goes on elsewhere with other people winning and losing. So, but Eastside gets it done.
Absolutely. I think, Eastside just, this is a battle for third and fourth in this district. And I think Eastside, just like I said last week, they've played a lot tougher opponents. They've played a lot tougher schedule. And I believe that helps them. And I believe they come out for a big win here, and they need one.
Twin Springs, Hancock County. I don't believe that. Well, I don't think we need the coin in this one. We got Twin Springs, I do, and I got them big.
Man, would that be something? Them and Rye Cove, one-loss teams at the end of the year going at each other.
It's that's the way it looks like it's going to happen, buddy.
That's going to be something else right there. I know we talk about one of them's undefeated, but both of them being one-loss teams.
I think both of them's going to be undefeated in the district.
Yeah, both of them being one-loss teams. Going at each other.
Rocco's got Chilhowie this week, so I'm not sure that they're still going to be a one-loss team. But
yeah, they definitely going to have to play this weekend. But yeah, I got Twin Springs big in this one.
Yep. That being said, we do have the Rocco Chilhowie. This is one of our top games of the week that we've got down, and this is going to be a tough ball game right here. Chilhowie, Eastside went toe-to-toe. Chilhowie's one of them teams that they're just tough, and they find a way to win. And, this one right here could really go in either way. But I'm going to tell you something right now, Kermit. These Rocco fans are blowing up our page.
Yeah, man.
They're supporting us.
Woo!
And you know what? I'm not going to let them down. I'm getting on the Rocco bandwagon this week, and we're going to go. War Eagles are going to take it to the Indians.
Ride that wagon, baby. Ride that wagon. I think Rocco's proven themselves, when they played Honaker, stood in that game, come back, when they got down a little bit. They'd come back on the Eastside and show what they was made of. I know Chihowie's played some good ball, but I think them War Eagles been battle tested, and I'm gonna go with them big War Eagles.
All right.
Woo!
The Mountain 7 game of the week, we have the Ridgeview Wolfpack versus the Abingdon Falcons.
Oh man, I'm just gonna tell you what I seen last year. Last year, Union had a bye, which they have a bye this year, and
this one's on the hill, right?
This is at Ridge.
It's on the hill, son.
Yeah, and but yeah, we went up there and watched, and I didn't think Abingdon had a chance to beat Ridgeview last year, and turned out to be one of the best ball games I think I've seen Abingdon play all year. I mean, their line was in the backfield constantly, causing havoc, getting through. I mean, and actually we played Abingdon the next week, and I was worried. I was like, man, if their line comes through like that against Union, they're liable to beat us. But it was like a different ball team when they played Union down there. But now I don't know what it is about Abingdon, but they must get up for this Ridgeview bunch. And I'm gonna tell you, if that Honaker kid's out there hurt again, playing like he was, I think Abingdon's gonna take advantage of it, and I think they're gonna run right at them, and they're gonna line that big. What is he? Big tight end up in the backfield.
He's gonna be playing fullback this week, son.
But yeah, I think they're gonna drive right at them there, and I think this could be an upset. And
hey, the Honaker kid for Abingdon's he's pretty special, man, at that quarterback spot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, he ain't gonna be flashy throwing the ball like O'Quinn, is gonna look better throwing the ball and stuff like that. But he can throw the ball and he can get it done, and he can run the ball and he can run it hard. And that other kid that they got that runs the ball is very good too.
I just felt like last week watching Ridgeview against John Battle, I felt like there was a lot of them kids probably beat up and bruised up, and they was just looked like me. They was just trying to get through the game, I believe.
And that's probably a good assessment too. I mean, they just came out of a big, hard fought battle, and I mean, it was a very physical game.
So I believe Ridgeview's going to be a little bit more healed up this week, but I believe Abingdon's coming at them with everything they got. Abingdon's been on a pretty good roll since the first two games of the year there. They've turned things around, and even though they lost to Tennessee High, it wasn't a bad ball game at all, 14-14 at halftime. I think Abingdon goes in there fired up, pumped up, and I think Abingdon may pull this thing off. I'm going to go with Abingdon.
Man, I knew you was going to do it. I wanted to be the only one to do this. I really like the way Abingdon has turned this around. I like what they've been doing. They've been getting better and better and everything. And I think the difference in this game is the way that Abingdon played in the Tennessee High game, which is a 5A school that's, a playoff team there that's been doing really well. And I like the way Abingdon played in that game. They kept it close. They was within a score of winning this game. Not saying Ridgeview couldn't have been in the same spot. Like I said, Ridgeview's only really, to me, had one game that has any sentimental value to it at all for me. I think any other team on this that would have played the schedule that Ridgeview has in this district could have just about been in the same spot Ridgeview is right now coming into this game. And they're going to have to win this one right here to really get me to believing in them a little bit more. I still ain't on their bandwagon, and I'm going to Abbott and Falcons in this game.
Yeah, I think everybody talks about Ryan Oakland, the quarterback, but I think at number 17, he's so much to that Ridgeview team.
He's a lot. I mean, without him, Ryan O'Quinn's got to have a lot bigger shoulders. I'm not saying he's a good enough athlete that he can handle it, but it's going to be a lot on him, man.
Yeah, there's other kids going to have to step up and make catches, and I noticed that against John Battle. There was a few drop catches and stuff, and somebody else going to have to step up big on that team right now, and we're getting ready to find out who it is, I guess.
Yep. All right, guys. Like I said, Sean had to work, man. We missed him. Hopefully everything will work out. Sean will be back with us next week and back on. We really missed him.
Absolutely.
When you miss somebody, you're used to that extra person there and everything, and it makes it a little tougher. But we wanted to get y'all something out for this week and everything. Listen, go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on our wherever you listen to us at on the podcast. Like us, follow us on Facebook, and if you don't care, hit that stars and give us a rating and comment on there and everything. The more y'all comment and do this, the better it is for us. It helps us to be able to get our algorithm up and get everything out to where more people sees it, hears it, and everything. With that being said, hope y'all stay dry this week. I know a lot of games is moving to when this comes out, it'll be tonight. We actually pre-record this, but when it comes out on Thursday, so a lot of the games are going to be on Thursdays. The ones that don't play on Thursday, don't get grounded too bad because the weather is going to be really, really bad. And if all my hearts and minds clear.
Well, I'd like to say one thing. Aaron was just talking about the Ryco fans are, getting on there and commenting and putting stuff on the site and stuff like that, Where's all you Union Bear fans at? Come on now.
Kermit, you calling them out, baby?
Yeah, I'm calling you out. Ryco fans is number 1 on there right now. Union, you're going to have to step it up, get on the site and comment.
I'm going to call the Gate City Blue Devil fans out,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, where y'all at?
These Ryco fans are burning it up, buddy.
That's right.
And Ridgeview's got several on there that comments and stuff, man. So, come on, guys. Help us out. Hit us up with some reviews and stuff. And with that being said, we'll see you guys next week here on the Tailgate Talk Podcast.